zero complaint level. मौज में रहो, be happy.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are studying Brihadaranyaka Upanishad and we have entered chapter 2, the first sub-chapter. Yesterday we have seen the introduction to this chapter. In the first chapter we have studied everything regarding the relative world and what is the highest that can be achieved in the relative world. So like in the politics in our country, highest achieved is being a prime minister. In USA, the highest achievement in the politics is the president. See? Beyond that, nothing. Again you come back to same square one. At the most, one may become president, but thereafter you are gone. You cannot be again do anything. Therefore, in material world, the highest achievement is in relation to. It is not absolute. And therefore, we have to discover dispassion towards the relative world. That was the main topic which we have discussed in the last chapter. So what were the three things? The name, nama, rupa and karma. So how with this nama, rupa, karma, we can slowly go beyond relative world. Now for this, when a seeker is trying to study or practice it, how we get lost in the wrong understanding. So this wrong understanding we'll try to understand and get out of it. This is the purpose of this chapter. ओम द्रुप्त बाला की अनुचानो गार्ग्य आसस होवाच अजात शत्रुम काश्यम ब्रह्मते ब्रवाणीति स होवाच अजात शत्रु सहस्रमेतस्यां वाची दद्मो जनको जनकः इति वै जना धावन्तीति. तत्र पूर्व पक्षवादी अविद्या विषय ब्रह्मविद द्रुप्त बालाकी द्रुप्तो गर्वितो सम्यक ब्रह्म विदित्वाद एव बलकाया अपत्यम बलकादि द्रुप्त च सौ बालकी चेति द्रुप्त बालकी. So sometime, once upon a time, like this Akhyayika, the stories start like that. In Naimisharanya, or once upon a time, like the stories of Vikramaditya and the Vetala. So, once upon a time, there was a person and his name was Balaki and he was Drupta. Drupta means very proud of his own understanding. See? The pride of wealth, etc., can be compared with others and one can drop the pride. See? But when it comes to the knowledge, we start thinking, nobody knows better than me. I am the most wise man in the world. The highest illusion is the illusion of wisdom. The highest illusion is the illusion of knowledge. The highest illusion is the illusion of realization. See, friends. Drupta Balaki. So, avidya vishaya brahmavid. And he has understood that whatever is known in the relative world, that is the ultimate. Drupto garvitaha. So, samyak brahmavitvat eva. And therefore he started thinking he knows everything. See? Now here one word is the ha shabda aitiharya akhyayikayam. See, itihasa, this word, itihas, what we call history, but if you break this word according to Sanskrit, iti ha asa, iti thus, full stop. Ha, historically, it is not imaginary, it has happened in the past. Therefore, we call our Mahabharata and Ramayana as the historical books. It is not imaginary, but many people, because it is beyond their understanding, they call it only, these are all the cock and bull stories. No. So, ha shabda aitihartha akhyayikayam. Anuchanaha, anuvachanam samarthaha vakta vagmi. So, anuchana means one who is able to give lectures like I am doing. I am anuchana. Give lectures. Whether you understand or not, whether you experience or not, get lost in that. See, friends, this is very beautiful. Vakta Vagmi, Gargya Gotrataha, he is the belonging to Gargya Gotra. Asa Babhuva Kaschit Kala Visheshe. Once upon a time, sometime it happened. Now, Sa Hovacha Ajata Shatrum, Ajata Shatru Namanam Kashyam Kashi Raja Bhi Gamya. See? So he approached Ajata Shatru, who was living in Kashi, Varanasi, and he approached this Ajata Shatru, the king of Kashi. Brahma te bravani ti brahmate tubhyam bravani kathayani. I want to tell you Brahma Jnanam. See? I want to tell you. I didn't ask you. See? This point I told you in our day-to-day language. When the food is digested, it doesn't come out from the wrong end. It is eaten, digested, then assimilated, and unwanted is thrown from the other end. But when the food is eaten but not digested, not assimilated, then it is thrown from the wrong end. Mouth is meant for ingestion of the food, not for the excretion of the food. See? In the same manner, when the knowledge is digested, it leads to silence. See? The best example we can think of is Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. He never wanted to go and give lectures, online lectures. Why? Because you can't keep quiet, you have to talk. So, Brahmate Bravani iti, Brahmate Tubhyam Bravani Kathayani. Now, I want to tell you the Brahman. I want to give you Brahma Jnanam. Sa evam uktaha ajata shatru uvacha. When this Gargya, he said, Balaki, he said that I want to give Brahman. Then Ajata Shatru, the king, he said, Uvacha, Sahasram Gavam Dadma Etasyam Vachi. So he said, I want to give you 1,000 cows. In today's language, I want to give you a check of 1,000 rupees. So, Uvacha Ajashatru, Sahasram Gavam Dadma, I want to give you, or I give you 1,000 cows. Because cows is the expression of the wealth. Sahasram Gavam Dadma Ityasam Vachi, Yam Mam Pratyavacho Brahmate Bravaniti. Because you told me that you are going to give me Brahma Jnana, and therefore Tavan Matra Eva Go Sastra Pradane Nimitta Iti Abhipraya. I am not giving you just like that because you have committed that you will tell me the Brahman. Therefore, one should not get anything in this world free. You have to work for it, we have to pay for it. It's so important, friends. So, Tavan Matram Eva. only because you are going to tell me Brahman, this was enough for the king to give him the danam, so go sastra pradane nimitta the abhipraya. That was enough reason. साक्षात ब्रह्म कथनम एव निमित्तम कस्मान नापेक्षते सहस्त्रदाने. साक्षात ब्रह्म कथनम एव निमित्तम कस्मान न अपेक्षते सहस्त्रदाने. Why one is required not to have any reason for giving the charity? Brahmate brahmani iti ayam tu vak brahma nimitta apekshate. Although he has not yet given, but he said, I am going to give you. So that was enough. So that was accepted by the king, and it is said, Yataha shrutireva radhya abhiprayam aha janako data janata janakaha shrauteti cha itasmin vakyadve padakshayam abhyagamyate janako janaka iti. Now why it is said twice? See? If you see the original mantra, it is said that Sahasrametasyaam vachi dadmo janako janaka iti vai jana dhavanti iti. Now why these two times it is said? That because people knew two things. That Janaka is Janaka is the one who can really give in charity, dana. And second thing, he is also a good listener to satsanga. See? Is it not our day-to-day experience? Where do we go? We go to those places where people are interested in listening. Where people are not interested in listening to satsanga, we don't go to that place. So, the second Janaka is that this Balaki knew that here is somebody who will listen to the Brahma Vidya, and also he will give me something in return, and therefore Balaki Gargya, he went and he thus said, Janako ditsu janakaha shushrushi iti brahma shushrushavaha vivakshavaha prati jigrukshannvascha jana avadhavanti avigachanti. Because where do the people go? People go to two places, where you get something and where somebody listen to you. See? Tasmat tat sarvam mai api sambhavitavan asiti. Therefore he thought that I will also get something and I will be able to tell him the Brahmadnyanam. Now from here the story begins. Evam Rajanam Shushusham Avimukhi Bhutam. In this manner, this Gargya, he came in front of the king and who was ready to listen to that king, Ajata Shatru, he said. So Hovacha Gargya. Gargya said, Ya eva asau aditya purushaha etame vaham brahmopase iti sa hovacha ajata shatru mahama etasmin samvadishtha atishta sarvesham bhutana marda murdha rajasi va aham etam upase iti ya etam evam upaste atishta sarvesham bhutana murdha raja bhavati. So hovacha Gargya. So this Gargya said, Yo asau aditya chakshushi eko abhimani chakshu dvarena hrudi pravishtaha aham bhokta karta cha iti avastitaha evam etam eva aham brahma pashyami asmin karya karana sanghate upase tasmat aham purusham brahma tubhyam bravi mi upasasveti. So he gives upadesh to this Ajata Shatru. Asau aditya purushi, aditya chakshushi. That Purusha who is in the sun is the same in the eyes. Eko abhimani. See? This principle we told you, this is the very foundation of correct understanding. आदि भौतिक, आदि दैविक और आध्यात्मिक. Adi Bhautik is gross, Adi Daivik is functional, and Adhyatmi is the experiencer, subjective. See? So, with reference to us, the structural I is Adi Bhautik. The vision in the I is Adi Daivik. And experiencer, who is experiencing through the eye, the colors and forms, is Adhyatmic. So here the Gargya is telling, Ya eva asau aditya chakshushi, in the eye, in the sun and in the eyes, cha eko abhimani, is one. And chakshudvarena, now the same one, through the eyes, hridi pravishtaha, enters the heart, that is the adhyatma, and aham bhokta karta cha iti avastitaha, and become the enjoyer or the experiencer or the doer. Etam eva aham brahma pashyami. This is what I understand as Brahma. See? It is so important, friends. This looks as if it is being repeated again and again, but it is very deep. That is how Bhagavan Shankaracharya's this particular Upanishad commentary will take care of all the aspects of Brahma Vidya. So, evam hovacha gargyaha ya eva aso aditye chakshushi cha eko abhimani chakshudvarena vridi pravishtaha. He enters through the eyes. So, the Purusha in the sun, he enters through the eyes in the heart. So, there are three things. See? The one who is expressing in the sun, the one who is expressing in the eyes as vision, and the one who is in the heart as doer or experiencer. See? Aham bhokta, aham karta iti avastata, etam eva aham brahma pashyami. This is what I am recognizing as the Brahma. Asmin karya karana sanghate upase. And therefore, I am doing the upasana of the Brahman in karya karana. Karya is the effect, karana is the instrument. See? The same thought comes in a very subtle manner in Keno Upanishad. When the teacher tells there that Yan manasana manute yena ahurmano matam tadeva brahmatvam vidhi nedam yadid upasate. And here he is doing the upase. See? There the teacher says that which cannot be known by the mind, but that because of which the mind is able to know, that is the Brahman, and that Brahman thou art, not this one, what you are doing, upasana. No. Upasana is done of the conditioned Brahman. So we are doing the upasana of the sun and the moon, etc. No. Tadeva brahmatvam vidhi. You are the reality. Not this one because of this, because of no. Therefore, etam eva aham brahma pashyami. This is what I have understood. Gargya says, Balaki says, pashyami asmin karya karana sanghate upase. And therefore, I am doing the upasana of the Brahman in this cause and instrument. See? Tasmat tam aham purusham brahma tubhyam bravimi upasasveti. Therefore, I am telling you this as the Brahman, and you should do the upasana of this Brahman. He is giving upadesha. Do this, do that. Because I know Brahman. See? Mauno vyakya prakatita para brahma tattvam yuvanam. Brahman is manifested through the eloquence of silence. But he started talking like I am talking to you. Therefore, do this Brahma tubhyam bravimi upasasveti. Do this upasana. Sa eva muktaha pratyuvacha ajata shatru. When he was thus told by Gargya, Ajatashatru said, Mama, iti hastena nivarayan. As if by hand, he said, no, 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 not like that. See? Etasmin brahmani vidneye ma samvadishtaha. See? Don't discuss about this conditioned Brahman. This is not the truth. Because mam etya badhanartha dvivachanam. Mama, this is said twice, only to say no, this is not right way. Evam samane vijnana vishaye avayoho asman vijnanavataha iva darshayita badhitasyam. See? Both of us are talking about the same thing. See? Evam samana vishaye avayoho. For both of us, we are talking about the same Brahman. Asman vijnanavataha, and we are the knower of the truth. Evam darshayita badhitasyam. Therefore, it will be negated. See? Because you are telling that in this manner the sun and the eyes and then that is the Brahman. So my Brahman separate, your Brahman separate, and in this manner we are getting lost in the Jiva Bhava, which is not true. See? Ma samvadam karshe asmin brahmani अन्यचे जानासि तद ब्रह्म वक्तुम अर्हसि न तु यन्मया ज्ञायते एव. इसीलिए in this way there is nothing that you should discuss or talk about. If you know something beyond this, so what he was talking about, he was referring with the upadhi. So his knowledge was paroksha jnanam, not aparoksha jnanam. See, in Upanishad again, when the student assumes that yes, I understood very well, immediately the teacher retorts, Yadi manyase suvedeti daharamevāpi nūnam tvam vetta brahmano rūpam yadasya tvam athanu deveshu mīmāmsamevate. Whatever you have understood with reference to deveshu, with reference to the chakshu, shrotra, etc. See? Yat chakshushan pashyati, yena chakshugamsha pashyati, tadeva brahmatvam vidhi, nedam yadidam upasate. Whatever you eyes can see, that is not the Brahman, that because which the eyes are able to see, that is the Brahman, and that Brahman thou art. So your Brahman and my Brahman are not separate. See, friends. So, ma samvada karsham asmin brahmani anya chet janasi tad brahma vaktum arhasi. If you know something other than this as Brahman, kindly tell me. Natu yanmaya jnayate eva. See? What Brahman you are telling, I don't agree. That is not the Brahman. If you know something else, tell me. Asachet manne se jani se tvam brahma matram tu na tad visheshena upasanam phalaniti. See? If you know the Brahma itself, and we have seen this thing, knowing can be only by being. In the material world, knowing and being are separate. See, I know this is a chair, but I am not a chair. But when it comes to the Brahma Jnana, knowing and being is one. Therefore, Athachen manne se jani se tvam Brahma matram natu tad visheshena upasanam phalani iti tanna mantavya. But what you are doing, that you are talking about if you do the upasana and because of this upasana you will get this result. Tanna mantavyam. See? That is not the right way. Yataha sarvam etat jane yad bravishidi katham. Because what you are telling the upasana phala, if you do the Gayatri upasana, this will happen. If you do this, I know that. That means there is a upasana and the result of the upasana. Karma, karma, phala. So you are in the samsara. See? Katham atishtaha. See? Whatever you are telling, we know that. if you do the upasana of the sun, this is happened, that happened. But sarve chamcha bhutanam murdha shiro rajeti vai raja dipti gunopetatvad etahi visheshahi विशेषणैः विशिष्टम एतद् ब्रह्म अस्मिन् कार्यकरण संगाते कर्तृभोक्तृ च इति अहम एतद् उपासे इति. So what you are telling me that I am already doing? See? Because this is karyakarana sangata. Through the instrument of the body and the instrument that is the mind, etc., or the sense organs, here I am as the karta, bhokta, the doer and the enjoyer. This is how I am doing the upasana. So, when you are told you do upasana, then karta is born. Then who is upasana? The Brahman. Where is the Brahman? That which is in the sun, that which is in the eyes, that which is the doer. So you are constantly getting lost only the conditioned reality and not the absolute. See? And he who is thus following this कर्तृ भोक्तृ च उपासेति फलम अपि एवं विशिष्ट उपासकस्य. So he who is doing this upasana, he also get the according results. Ya evam etam upaste atishtaha sarvesham bhutana murda raja bhavati. Those who are doing this upasana, they become the top in that society wherever they are, like the king. Raja bhavati yatha gunopasanam eva hi phalam. As you think, so you are. See? It's so important. This particular thing, it can't be explained, but it does happen. One of my very good friend, she is a Marwadi. And my friend, when he came with his wife to meet me, I saw her and I asked her, I said, hey, are you Gujju? He said, no, Swamiji, I am a Marwadi. But why did you say I am a Gujju? I said, because you look exactly like a Gujarati face. Then she said, yes, it is true, I am a Marwadi, but why I look like a Gujarati? Because right from my childhood, born and brought up in Gujarat, in Junagadh. So there I lived, right from childhood. So when you are staying in Gujarat for a very long period, knowingly, unknowingly, that kind of features start appearing on your face. See? So here also, as you think, then that brightness, the greatness starts happening to you. See, friends. Tam tatha yathopaasate tadeva bhavati. Whatever you do the upasana, you become like that. See. One more example I'll give you. Now that boy is married, he is in USA. He was in our Kaivalya Dham. And he was studying for his, I think, software engineering. And then he was doing exactly the same kind of expressions like his teacher used to do. So one day, when he was talking to me, I said, hey, is this person your teacher? He said, Swamiji, how do you know? I said, yes, he is my friend also, so I know him. Yes, Swamiji, he is a very good teacher. I really like him. He teaches so nice. But why did you ask me that, is he your teacher? I said, because of your expression. His expression used to be every now and then, and therefore, this, it was naturally happening to him, because he was so overpowered by the teacher and his way of expression, you become that. See, friends. Therefore, it is said in the scripture, Yam yatha yatha upasate tadeva tad bhavati. He becomes that. Now, one try he made to indicate or teach Brahma to Ajatashatru, and he was defeated. Second thing. संवादेन आदित्य ब्रह्मणि प्रत्याखाते अजात शत्रुना चंद्रमसी ब्रह्मांतरम प्रतिपेदि गार्ग्य. So when the sun when the Brahma with reference to the sun was negated, then Gargya took now the Chandrama, the moon. See? स होवाच गार्ग्या य एवासौ चंद्रे पुरुषे एतम एव अहम ब्रह्मोपासे इति स होवाच अजात शत्रुर्मा मा एतस्मिन् संवदिष्टा बृहन् पाण्डरवासाः सोमो राजे दिवा अहमेतम उपासे इति स य एवं उपास्ते अहर अहर सुतः प्रसूतो भवति नास्यान्नं क्षीयते. So here, now the second try. य एवासौ चंद्रे मनसि चैकः पुरुषो भोक्ता कर्ता चेति पूर्ववद् विशेषणम्. Now the same way like we have seen in case of the sun. Now we will be repeating it, so we will not again say the same thing. We will simply refer as it was said with reference to Aditya or the sun. So evam asau chandre manasi chaikaha purushaha. So what is in the moon, is in the mind, is the one which is creating karta bhokta. So three things. See? So Chandra outside is the Rupa, mind is the Nama, and the experiencer is the Karta, the doer. In this manner, ye evasau Chandre manasi chaikaha purusha bhokta karta iti purvavad visheshanam is the same like earlier. No, Bruhan Mahan Pandaram Shuklam Vaso Yasya Soyam Pandaravasa. Now who is the moon? Moon is Pandaram, Pandaravasa, Shuklavasa. He has got the white clothes and therefore the Pandaravasa Ashariratvacha Chandrabhimaninaha Pranasya. And therefore this Chandrabhimani Prana, that means the life which is dependent on the Prana, the moon, because the food we get from the moon. So, Somo Raja Chandraha, because it is said that the Amrita, the nectar from the moon is supporting all the Vanaspati, where the ability to sustain the life is created. See, and therefore he is Somo Raja Chandra Yascha Anna Bhuto Shuyate Latatmakaha. So this moonlight alone gives the nourishing factors for all the plants kingdom and therefore become the food. Tam eki krutyam eva aha brahmopasase. Therefore, the somalata, whichever is used in the conduct of the yajna, etc., it gives the food or the ability to sustain by doing the upasana of this moon. So, yathauta gunam ye upaste tashar ahara sutaha somo abhishuto bhavati yajne. In this manner, he is doing this kind of upasana. He also becomes like the same Brahman as he has thought it is a Brahman. And therefore, he is able to remain always full of support of food, etc. and ubhay vida jnanusthana samarthyam bhavati iti. And therefore, he becomes capable of conducting and also sustaining himself. And therefore, he is annam chasya nakshiyate. He will be never short of food in his life. He will be always able to get because he is doing the upasana of the moon. Brahma conditioned by the moon. Brahma conditioned by the mind. Brahma conditioned by the doer and enjoyer. So what this Garge is doing is expressing the conditioned expressions. Like the light is the conditioned expression of the electricity. And if I have to understand electricity and all the time reference to the light, then I will be getting the benefit. I can read, write and do the things in the light, but I will never know the electricity. So, annam chakshiyate Now, the third step, he takes it. स होवाच गार्ग्यो स एवायो विद्युति पुरुषः एतमेवाह ब्रह्मोपासे इति स होवाच अजातशत्रुर्मामा एतस्मिन् संवदिष्ठास्ते तेजस्विति वा अहमेतम् उपासे इति स एव उपास एव एतमेव उपास्ते तेजस्विः भवति तेजस्विनी ह्यस्य प्रजा भवति. The same story continues. Similarly, that which is the Vidyuta, lightning, the skin and the heart, in these three places there is but one reality. So one reality expressing objectively as the Vidyuta, electricity, or in the skin the brightness, and heart the understanding. See, therefore, Tejasviti Visheshanam Tasya Tat Phalam Tejasvya. And the result of this will be, if you do the upasana like this, then he also becomes Tejasvi, Tejasviniha Asya Praja Bhavati. And his children also become very bright and brilliant. Therefore, Vidyutam Bahutvasya Angikarnat Atmani Prajayam Cha Phalabahulyam. Therefore, the when we are spending more and more time with this understanding, then he will be able to attain lot more for his own progeny. Because this is in the relative world. He has not yet entered the absolute. Now further. स होवाच गार्ग्यो य एवं आकाशे पुरुषः एतमेव अहं ब्रह्मोपासे इति स होवाच अजातशत्रो मामा एतस्मिन् संवदिष्ठाः पूर्णम् अप्रवर्तीति हवा अहम् एतम् उपासे इति स य एवं उपास्ते पूर्यते प्रजया पशुभिः न अस्य अस्माद् लोकात् तत् प्रजोद्वर्तते. तथा आकाशे हृदयाकाशे चैक devata. In the same manner, that one reality is supporting the space outside and the space in the heart. And therefore, there is only one reality, and therefore, he who is Purnam Apravartim Cheti. It is complete, and therefore it is the conditioned expression of the reality. Purnatva Visheshanam Phalamida Puryate Prajaya. And because he is always associated with the Purnatva and space, therefore he is always full with all the prosperity, etc. And therefore his children are not lost, and he is able to continue his lineage because he is doing the upasana in this understanding. So, Akasha Brahma is not the truth. Okay, then Sahovaja Gargya ya evayam vayo purushaha etam evo brahmopase iti Sahovaja ajata shatru mahama etasmin samvadishta indro vaikunto aparajita senenava aham etam upase itiha evam upaste jishnu ha parajishnu bhavanti etasmin atyajayati Tyajai. Therefore, again, this Vayu, the external air, the Pran, internal air, and in the heart they become one. In this manner, he who knows the Brahman like this, then he is Tasya Visheshanam Indraha Parameshwara Vaikunta Aprasaya. Then he is the Indra, the Parameshwara, and Vaikunta Aprasaya. He is very powerful and Parijita Purva, Parajita Sena Manuta. And he is never defeated by anybody. Earlier also, Sena Maruta Ganatva Prasiddhe. So all these gods are included in the Indra, in the Vayu, Prana, because without the Prana, none of them can live. In this manner, he is doing the upasana of the Prana. He also becomes they are always victorious. He can never be defeated by anybody, and therefore he become winner under all condition. परैर्जित स्वभावो भवति अंततस्त्यजायि. Till the last he is always the victorious. And sapatnanam jayanashilo bhavati. And he is all sapatna the enemies. Therefore he is able to win over all the enemies. He who is doing the upasana of the Brahman as Indra. Then Sohovacha Gargyo Ya evam agno purusha etamevaham brahmopase iti hovacha ajatashatu ma etasmin eva samadishta vishasahir iti va aham etam upase iti yava eva upaste vishasahir ha bhavati vishasahir yahasya praja bhavati. It is the same story. He said Agni, Vak and Vridi, three. Cha eka devata. See, the presiding deity of the speech is fire. And the fire is also externally supporting all the forms. So, Agni, Vacha and Vridi. So, the experiencer, the instrument of experience and the experiencer, they are only one, they are not two. Because of the Upadhi, they are considered as three. Tasya Visheshanam Vishasahi Marshayita Paresham. See? Sahi, Sahan Karna. Able to sahanam sarva dukkhanam. So vishasahi, vishas means the offering which are offered in the fire. So you put any amount of offering in the fire sustains. The fire doesn't say enough, no, I cannot burn anymore. No. Therefore vishasahi, like the fire is never tired of doing its job of burning and reducing everything to the ashes, in the same manner he also becomes successful in whatever it takes, and Agni Bahulyat Phala Bahulyam Purvavat. And like the fire, he is able to achieve anything, reducing all the things to ashes. Now he continues further. So Hovacha Gargo Yo Evayam Apsu Purusha Etamevaha Brahmopase Iti Sa Hovacha Ajata Shatrur Mama Etasmin Samadishtaha Pratirupa Iti Va Aham etam upase iti va etam upaste pratirupam vai enam upagacchati na pratirupam atho pratirupa asmat jayate. Apsu retasi hrudi chaika devata. See, what is in the waters, what is in the virya, and what is in the heart is one reality. See, tasya visheshanam pratirupa anurupaha shruti smriti pratikula ityartha. See? So, this is according to the scriptures, and phalam pratirupam, and therefore he also get the same. Shruti shasananurupam eva edam upagacchati prapnoti na viparitam. Therefore he also gets the same result. That is, he is able to have the children of his kind because jala, virya and hridaya. His ability to procreate and produce becomes very strong and powerful. This is what is the result if he does the upasana of the jala. Then continuing further. So hovacha gargyo ya evayam adarshe purusha etamevaham brahmopase iti so hovacha ajata shatrur mama etasmin samadishta rochishnu iti va ahamevam etam upase iti ya em upaste rochishnur ha bhavati rochishnur hasya praja bhavati atha yai sannigacchati sarva tani atirochate. Similarly, adarshe prasada svabhave cha anyatra. See, adarshe the mirror, and similarly, whether it is like the reflection of our face in the mirror, in the same manner, khadgadav harde, in the same manner, in the swords, etc., in everywhere there is this reality, and also in the heart. That means, as in case of this mirror, the things are reflected in the same manner, all these things are reflected in the same reality, and he who knows this then tasya visheshanam rochishnu dipti swabhavaha. So he also becomes very powerful and very bright. Phalam cha tadeva rochanadhara bahulyat bahulyam. Because of this support, he also become very powerful and bright. Now continuing further, prana sahovacha gargyo jo evayam yanta paschad शब्द अनुदेते एवं अस्मै ब्रह्मोपासेति स होवाच अजात शत्रुशर मामा एतस्मिन् सविष्टासुरति वा अहम एव उपास्ते इति स य एव उपास्ते सर्वं ह एव अस्मिन् लोके आयुरेति नैनं पुरा कालात् प्राणो जहाति. He doesn't die early. See, yantam gachantam, at the time of leaving the body, स एवायम शब्दः पश्चात् पृष्ठतः अनुद्यत अध्यात्मं च जीवन हेतु प्राणः. See, at the time of going, the air makes some sound, and this is the cause of the life in the body. So, पश्चात् पृष्ठतः अनुद्यत अध्यात्मं च जीवन हेतु is the cause of the life, prana. Tam ekikritya. So the external air and the prana, and because of which the life is sustained. So asu prana jivana hetu iti guna tasya phalam. Therefore, sarvam ayu asmin loke etiti. Therefore, he is doing the prana upasana. He lives the complete life. He doesn't die halfway. यथोपातम कर्मणा आयु कर्म फल परिचिन्न कालात् पुरा पूर्वम रोगादिभिः पीड्यमानम अयं प्राणो न जहाति. Therefore, he doesn't die on account of the diseases or accidents, etc., because he is doing the prana upasana. His complete life is lived. This is what is the upasana phala of prana as the Brahman. Now he comes to the disha. So hovacha gargyo evayam dikshu purusha etameva maha brahmopaase iti. So hovacha ajata shatru sharma ma etasmin samvadishtha diteyo anapaga iti va aham etam upase iti. So evam upaste dvitiyavanha bhavati nasmat gana chidyate. Similarly, dikshu karnayoho cha hrudi chaika devata ashvinau. So, the directions, the ears and the heart, there is one devata, deva viyukta swabhavo. Because the gods or the Ashwini Kumar do not separate from the ear and heart. So, anyonya disha ashvinau cha evam vardivat vadharmitvat evam adharmitvat. See, therefore, this direction, Ashwini Kumar and the ears, they are of the same quality, and therefore, what happens to this thing? Ganat chedo dvitiya tvamcha phalam upasakasya. So, he is never separated from the result that he is going to get, because he is doing the upasana of this big devata. Now the shadow, reflection, that is taken as the Brahman. So hovaja gargyo evayam chayamaya purushaha etam evam aham brahmopase iti. So hovaja garga, again the same thing. Then aham upase iti sa ya evam upaste sarvam ha vai asmin loke ayureti nainam pura kalat mrityur agacchati. Now he is doing the chayamaya purusha. See? Chayayam baye tam asya adhyatmam cha avaranatmake ajnane hridi chaika devata. See? In the external darkness and inside the ignorance, condition, knowledge and heart, there is but one reality. Meaning what? Like the external things are covered by the darkness, shadow, and internal knowledge is covered by the ignorance, and because of that the ignorant person is born. All these three are the same Brahman conditioned by the three conditioning. Therefore, Chaika Devata is the only one reality. Tasya Visheshanam Mrityu, and therefore, this external darkness has gone, all the darkness is gone, light comes, everything is known. Similarly, inner darkness, ajnanam is gone, so the jiva bhava, I am a limited being, that also gone. And therefore, he is able to get rid of all the things associated with the limitation, and therefore he will not be able to suffer, or he will not suffer because of all this ignorance, etc. Now continue. स होवाच गार्ग्यः य एवं आत्मनि पुरुष एतम एवं ब्रह्मोपासे इति स होवाच शद मामा एतस्मिन् समिष्टा आत्मन्विति वा अहम उपासे इति ये एवं उपास्ते स आत्मन्वी ह भवति आत्मन्वी हास्य प्रजा भवति स तुष्णीमास गार्ग्या. सी अगेन आत्मनि प्रजापतौ बुद्धौ च हृदि एका देवता. See, so the Prajapati or the Hiranyagarbha or the Mahatattva or the total subtle body, and Buddhi, the individual subtle body, or the intellect and heart, they are presided over by one reality. See? We already studied this. With the conditioning of the intellect, the Jiva Bhava is born. See? With the conditioning of the total intellect, that is the Mahatattva, Hiranyagarbha is born. And both of them are supported by the same reality. So individuality and totality, they are superimposed on the absolute. And therefore, these totality, individuality, they are not two, they are one. Atmavan iti Visheshanam. Phalam Atmanvi bhavati, Atmavan bhavati. He also is able to focus attention on his self and leads a very comfortable life in association with the others. So buddhi bahulyatvat prajayayam sampadanam iti visheshaha. And therefore he is able to attain extreme success in his life because he is extremely intelligent. स्वयं परिज्ञातत्वेन नैव क्रमेशः प्रत्याख्यातुं ब्रह्मसु स गार्ग्यः क्षीण ब्रह्म विज्ञान अप्रतिभासमान उत्तर तुष्णिम अवच्छीरा आस. ब्यूटिफुल. स्वयं परिज्ञातत्वेन क्रमेण प्रत्याख्यातेषु ब्रह्मेषु, when this Gargya, he has told about the Brahma whatever he knew. See? And each and one of them was negated by Ajatashatru, the king. And therefore, Gargya Kshira Brahma Vijnana, he did not know beyond this because it was only a rattling, only like a parroting. See? Tadeva Brahmatvam Vidhi Nedam Yadu Upasate Na Karmana Na Prajaya Dhani Na Tyage Neki Amrutatva Manasho. See? त्रिविधम नरकस्येदम द्वारम नाशनम आत्मनः काम क्रोध तथा लोभः तस्मात् एतत्रयं त्यजेत् and become angry. See, only rattling, only chanting without any experience behind. See how important this is. It looks, it was he being said again and again and again, but this is the purpose behind this. See? स्वयं परिज्ञातत्वेन एव क्रमेण प्रत्याख्यातेषु ब्रह्मसु. So whatever he has understood as a Brahman, that was all negated by Ajatashatru, that you are talking only about the related one, you are not talking about absolute. See? So Brahmasu sa Gargya Kshina Brahma Vijnanaha. He was not able to go further. He just stopped. Kshina. Given up everything. See? Now what was happening with Gargya? He was unable to drop the objectivity. This is what Upanishad says. Athano deveshu What you are understanding is with reference to the sense organs, with reference to something, because this is what you have heard. न तत्र चक्षुर्गच्छति न वाक् गच्छति न मनः न विद्मः न विजानीमः यथा एतद् अनुशिष्यात्. And then the teacher tells, yet chakshusha na pashyati, yena chakshugam cha pashyati, tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam yadu upasate. So what he has understood is only with reference to the sense organs, mind, etc. And he has never understood what is meant by all these statements, because he was understanding objectively. Therefore, this principle we told you a number of times. The objectivity associated with the scientific minded people make them important to know the truth, because they cannot drop objectivity and they want to conduct experiment. Experiments can be conducted only objectively, not subjectively. I am, what experiment will you conduct on this? See? You take some medicine and then you conduct the experiments. See? One experiment is, if you take this thing, your weight will increase, and then you give that thing to mice and watch, conduct the experiment. And then you say, yes, it can be done. This way, I am, knowing and being is one. Now what experiment will you conduct? You cannot. And therefore, objectivity in knowledge is samsara. And we are all studying Upanishad, etc. objectively. This is where we go wrong. See? See how we unknowingly do it the wrong way. Like, sometimes when I give some examples in the lecture about the husband and the wife, suppose I glorify the wife and condemn the husband in the lecture. It's called an arthavad. When this is done, and if the husband and wife are together sitting, immediately they start looking at each other. Because for them, husband and wife means only these two. But for me, husband and wife is a common noun. It is not a visheshanam, it is not a specific. Exactly the same way. We are able to know, like the Gargya, only with reference to something. See? Therefore, Rama, Krishna, Shiva, so many of them. But they are one and the same. They are not many. And not only Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhi, they are none other than me. Mayi eva sakalam jatam, mayi sarvam pradishtitam, mayi sarvam layam yati, tad brahmadvayam asmeham. Therefore, swayam paridnyatatvena evam kramena pratyakhyateshu brahmasu sagargya kshina brahma vijnanavan. So whatever he told was negated by Ajatashatru, and therefore kshina brahma vijnana. This is all that he knew, because he was only a parrot, a tape recorder, only recording. So kshina brahma vijnana apratibhasamana uttara tushni tushnim avachira. Avachira means he hung his head down and became quiet, and he came to know, I was blabbering before this wise man, and therefore he kept quiet. See? Then what happened? So hovacha ajata shatru etavannu ityetavadhiti daitavata viditam bhavatiti. So hovacha gargya upavatva yaniti. Now this topic we'll take it tomorrow. Important this is. We all get lost only in objectivity. Objectivity must be dropped to be subjective enough understanding. And that subject is objectless awareness. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.